Picture, if you will, a city held as the pinnacle of divine splendor. Anor Londo, the shining metropolis of the gods, now a hollow echo of what it once was. Its golden halls are empty, its deities long departed. Yet in the shadow of its fallen glory, one figure remains, a child of the sun who walks beneath the moon. This is a story of Gwyndolin, the god of the Darkmoon, a deity bound by blood and burden, born in a dynasty of flame and sunlight but fated to dwell in the shadows. Gwyndolin is a paradox, a son raised as a daughter, a god revered and reviled, a savior hidden beneath the veil of illusion. This tale is not one of triumph, but a sacrifice, of duty, and of a quiet, tragic endurance. Here beneath the weight of his father's monumental legacy, Gwyndolin resides. His lower half a coiled nest of serpents, a mark of his moonlit power and his repulsive form in the eyes of his kin. His father, Gwyn, Lord of Sunlight, saw him not as a son but as a tool, a keeper of illusions, a warden of what remained. And so, Gwyndolin became a custodian of appearances, constructing a mirage of his sister Guinevere to rule in her absence and persevering the fragile faith of those who clung to the Age of Fire. But behind the shimmering veil lay a deity who bore the weight of his father's will, a god who punished sinners in secret and guided the lost with arrows of moonlight. His followers, the Blades of the Dark Moon, were shadows themselves, hunting those who dared to defy the gods. In life, Gwyndolin was a paradox of power and fragility, a sorcerer of immense might, yet shackled by the expectations of his lineage. He was the last god of Anor Londo, the steward of a fading flame, and the architect of a covenant that would punish the wicked and persevere the gods' crumbling domain. But even the gods are not immune to treachery. As the centuries passed, a new force rose in Irthel, a cold moonlit city built upon the ruins of Anor Londo. Here, a pretender named Solvin seized control, corrupting the faith of Gwyndolин's followers and turning the once noble city into a bastion of tyranny. And in the shadows of Irthel, Gwyndolin was left to wither, a prisoner in his own cathedral, his divine light dimmed by illness and betrayal. And then came Aldrich, the devourer of gods. Drawn by a hunger insatiable, Aldrich sought not merely to consume Gwyndolin, but to absorb his very essence, his power, and his dreams. This was no ordinary death. This was an annihilation, a god swallowed by darkness, his voice silenced forever. Yet even in his final moments, Gwyndolин's existence was not without meaning, for it was his sacrifice that brought the end to Aldrich's reign of terror. A nameless unkindled, a warrior of ash, rose to challenge the abomination, freeing Gwyndolin from his torment and ensuring the light of the gods, however faint, would endure a while longer. In the end, Gwyndolин's life was not one of glory, but of quiet, unyielding duty. A god who lived in the shadow of his father's flame, who bore the weight of a dying age, and who gave his life so others might carry on the flickering torch. Gwyndolin, the Dark Sun, a name whispered in reverence and sorrow, a deity whose legacy, like the moonlight he commanded, will forever illuminate the darkness.